I've listened to 10 hours of Peter Attia's interviews and I read his book, Outlive. In this video, I'm summarizing his talk with Andrew Huberman. We will go over the exercises Peter Attia recommends for longevity, and I stay until the end to see his weekly workout routine. Lifespan is binary. You're either alive or not. But health span or longevity is the quality of life. Peter Attia refers to exercise as the most powerful drug for longevity. In his opinion, there are four main pillars for longevity: strength, stability, aerobic efficiency, and aerobic peak output, or VO2 max. Most people underestimate how far we decline with age. As we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass and strength. From 20 to 80, we gradually lose 40% in muscle mass. To put it simply, if you don't squat with heavy weight right now, you may need assistance to get up from the toilet seat at some point. That's why strength training is crucial. It helps slow down this decline and keeps us strong and independent as we age. When starting strength training, it's essential to learn the correct form. Filming yourself can be a great way to review your technique. In his book Outlive, Attia shares how poor squat form and lack of stability led to a back injury in his 20s. Before increasing the weight, make sure you master proper form and stability. Attia also said he didn't know about quiet breathing and intra-abdominal pressure in weight training in the early days. That's why he recalls this as a mistake. To have an injury-free, effective training, make sure to get these things right. The next two pillars contribute to your cardiovascular fitness. Attia uses a simple analogy. Think of it as a pyramid. You want a wider base, your zone 2, and a high peak, your VO2 max. VO2 max is perhaps the most powerful indicator of how long you live and how well you live. Before I go over the definition of VO2 max and how to train it, let me show you this. If you think just because you're hiking as a 20-year-old, then you can hike as a 60-year-old, you are wrong. This is a chart from Attia's book Outlive, chapter 12. It shows that if you want in your 70s to be able to hike on a slight uphill with a speed of 3 miles per hour or 5 kilometers per hour, you should be able to jog 6 miles per hour or 10 kilometers per hour on a flat ground at 35 years of age. Even if you don't know your VO2 max right now, using this chart can give you an idea of what activity you can and cannot do at your age right now and what that means for your future. The good news is that you can train your VO2 max, and even small improvements in your VO2 max can drastically improve your quality of life and how long you live. Research shows that for those in their 50s, moving from a low to below average VO2 max can reduce their mortality risk by 50% over a decade. VO2 max is the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use during exercise. VO2 max training can be done on a stationary bike, treadmill, or running outside. The sweet spot is doing 3 to 8 minute intervals, where you push yourself hard for a few minutes and then rest for a few minutes. For example, go all out for 3 to 4 minutes, then rest for 3 to 4 minutes, and then repeat that for 20 to 30 minutes. Remember, the specifics we just mentioned about training your VO2 max is not the same as any HIIT workout. HIIT has become a buzzword and is used to refer to many different things. So, if someone talks about HIIT, ask them to be specific. What is the effort level? What is the duration of intervals? What is the duration of rest? How often do you repeat it? One last note in training for VO2 max on a treadmill. There are two ways to increase intensity: going faster or increasing the incline. Generally, it is safer to use the incline levels rather than speeding up on a flat setting. And by the way, if you're enjoying this summary, I've made another summary of what Attia calls the 4 horsemen of death, or the top 4 killer diseases and how they could be prevented. If you're interested, don't forget to subscribe and check that out. Zone 2 training is another pillar. For this, you need to train for at least 45 minutes in a steady state, keeping your heart rate at zone 2, which is roughly 80% of your maximum heart rate. This can be done by running, stair climbing, cycling, or swimming. If you choose cycling or running outdoors, see if you can find a path to avoid interruptions like traffic lights to keep the steady state. This means the 45 minutes should be in one go. You don't want to dip in and out of it to accumulate totally 45 minutes over a longer session. Your zone 2 will vary depending on your fitness level. If you're deconditioned, a brisk walk might be enough to bring your heart rate into zone 2. But as you get fitter, two things happen. One, it becomes harder to raise your heart rate. Think of it this way. Your heart isn't as challenged by fast walking, so you will need to do something more intense, like running, to elevate your heart rate. 2. Your zone 2 heart rate will increase. For example, if your zone 2 was previously around 120 beats per minute, it might be now 130 beats per minute. You will need to adjust your training intensity accordingly. This is why Attia defines zone 2 in a more accurate way, which is the highest level of energy you can put out while keeping lactate below 2 millimoles per liter. This is the maximum threshold at which the body can clear the lactate that is produced during the exercise. Because once you surpass about 2 millimoles of lactate, you have exceeded the mitochondria's ability to clear lactate efficiently. Mitochondrial function and its deterioration is a hallmark of aging, and that's why we need to train in this zone. Attia uses lactate monitor to gauge his zone 2, but has ongoing costs, and it's not that easy to get blood samples while exercising. An easier way to approach this is to use heart rate and perceived effort. The MAF formula, which is 180 minus your age, is a reasonable place to start, but it's not perfectly accurate. This is roughly 80% of your maximum heart rate. And by maximum, I mean your actual max heart rate, not a predicted one. In terms of perceived effort, don't go all out. You should be at a point where you can talk, but you would rather not to. And you can still breathe through your nose. One thing to bear in mind is that your Garmin watch or other heart rate monitors may set heart rate zones based on another system, like FTP cycling zones. That's why their zone 2 might be 60 to 70% of max heart rate and will be below that 80% of max that we just talked about. Another thing you can gauge is the watts on your stationary bike or treadmill. Watts are the ultimate metric of output. Divide the watts by your body weight and you get a number. For those who are metabolically unfit, they may hit their zone 2 threshold at around 1 watt per kilogram. Professional cyclists can maintain about 4 watts per kilogram while staying in their zone 2. Zone 2 training makes you more insulin sensitive, which is crucial as we age or if you have conditions like type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure. A good starting point is about 3 hours of zone 2 training per week. Also, it is best not to do cardio immediately after strength training. For better strength and hypertrophy gains, it's ideal to separate your cardio sessions from your strength training. The last pillar is stability. As we age, maintaining stability is crucial to prevent falls. This is the leading cause of accidental deaths of the elderly. Stability training should focus on maintaining strength in fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are responsible for speed and explosiveness. If you think about muscle size, strength, and speed, we first lose speed and explosiveness, then strength, and the last thing we lose is size. So don't confuse size or how big you look with your strength or explosiveness. Exercises like jumping and landing help preserve fast-twitch muscle fibers and teach your body how to put on brakes. People are more likely to injure themselves when stepping off something rather than stepping onto it, because falls happen when the individual cannot stop themselves. That's why sticking your landing in jumps is important. You can do jump rope, high jumps, lateral jumps, one-legged jumps, and focus on sticking your landing. You can also practice slow, controlled step downs. And when practicing step ups, try not to push off with your lower foot. Instead, rely on your top leg. As you improve, you can add a weight or increase the height of the step. When people ask, how much should I exercise? Attia's answer is this: it depends. It's not just about the hours spent, but the quality of those hours. Ideally, for cardiovascular fitness, do 3 to 4 hours of weekly Zone 2 training and 1 to 2 sessions of 20 to 30 minutes of VO2 max training. Spread your Zone 2 workouts throughout the week. It's better to spread it out than to do it all at once. But your sessions shouldn't be shorter than 30 to 45 minutes. This is Attia's current training plan. It might not be the best for everyone, but if you're interested to know how he is planning his week, this is his routine. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up.